I'm back at the George Thomas Hall House Coal Mines. I'm in the U shape of the first one here. Here's a road that we have that you drive four-wheeler right up to. And this is all that's left of the opening. Even since I was here a year or two ago, it looks like that rock's fallen in. Some more dirt's collapsing onto it. Leaves, of course. I've moved out of the way. So we're going to send the camera in on my device, 12-foot device here, and see what that mine looks like. Looks like there's a lot more water in it. In the event you haven't seen one of my mining videos before. This is the 12-foot 2x4. The camera goes there. It sends a Wi-Fi signal back to my cell phone, and that's what I'm looking at. I send the camera in. I don't go in it. And I have it rigged up so it's on a bungee, so you'll see it turns the camera when I'm in there. So it's not me turning it, I'm doing it from the outside here. So I just have the camera sitting out here for a second while I'm setting up the Wi-Fi. Let's see if I could give you an idea of what this is like. See how it's showing in my camera, what the camera's actually saying there? So that's how that works. That's what I'm viewing in there. So we're going to go ahead and send this device in with the camera on it and see what that mine looks like. So right now the camera's tilted to the left just a little bit. You'll see there's a typical post that they have in there. I'm looking at it with the naked eye through the opening. It's about 8 inches in diameter, and then on the top of it, they have a triangle piece of wood as a wedge that they pound in for support. It's still pointed to the left just a little bit. See, the mine is flooded with water. Even though at the entrance, the U-shaped entrance here, I don't see any water seeping out. Now the other mine, there's water seeping out, but not here. So let me just move the camera around a little bit. In fact, if you look at that white object, right there in about the center of the screen right now. Here we go. That is what we call the strange object that looked white. It's totally submerged now. That was not submerged. Whatever, it's been a year or so ago. That looks different. I don't know what it, is it just a rock and a reflection? That's what some people had suggested. It was much more round, almost in the shape of a soccer ball the last time. Yeah, if you look into that chamber there, right behind the white object obviously looks like some type of collapse. And you'll see the post there on the side. On the left there's a couple posts I see, and on the right one post. That mine goes pretty deep in there. It's probably about 4 feet high by my estimation here. And you can see the back wall there, just right behind that thing that looks like it's collapsed. The only question is, does it go deeper on around to the left there? Clearly there's a wall back there. I can see it on the camera. And if you look to the right of the white object in the water there, you'll see it looks like they left a column of coal for support. I'll try to put that in about the middle there. And it appears there's another room over there, or chamber, whatever you want to call it. The tip of my device is hitting that water in the mine there. Oh, look at that post. That is a large post there. So the ceiling's much higher off around to the right there. Well, let's see, I could see it with the naked eye peering underneath the ceiling here. And it's about 8 inches in diameter as well. So that's the far right wall, and it does look like there's a room pretty deep to the right there. Because right now I have this device in at a 45-degree angle, plus I've turned the camera to the right. So it's not only the device is in at a 45-degree angle, that's looking straight back. So this mine kind of, as far as the hillside goes, the U shape, you come straight in and then this turns to the right.
There's several posts and columns of coal.
Yeah, there's a big column there that I think leads over that way. Right. So, and you notice there's some rocks laying on the floor there. Look behind the white object.
Yeah, these big things right
Yeah,
here.
yeah, those are rock falls. I looked at that earlier. I just can't figure out what that white object is. Move it this way. Readjusted the light to see if we get a better angle on that. Just so. Just trying to see if there's anything on the floor. If you see the ripple, that's the front of my device hitting the water there. There's that strange white object. It looks like it's fallen down. I don't know, maybe all this water's caused that. Yeah, and if you look to the room at the right there, back in there, it looks like you could see the back of it as well. So that may be all the deeper it goes. It's hard to say. But boy, it sure does turn to the right towards the next mine, which the next mine is, I don't know, 30 or 40 feet to the right here, but we've never seen that it connects into each other. But these two mine openings do not connect. They're separate. I don't see any strange creatures swimming on the floor here of the mine. But, boy, if that's that strange white object, I don't know, or that's another one. Maybe it's the next one that has it. We're going to find out. We're going to go to the next one to see if that opening's not clogged up with leaves and mud over the time since we've last been here. But there you have it. It kind of looks like two rooms with a center support of coal, although this angle's at a 45-degree to the right. Now I do notice, let me put it in the center of the screen, right there, potentially there's another room to the far left. If you follow that left wall that starts at the bottom left of the picture right now, and go around that before you get to that back where the two posts are, kind of directly to the left of the white object that's in the water there. There might be a room there. Now, I do not have a device long enough to get that far back. So this is one of the two mines originally used by the George Thomas Hall family. Les Tanner's family owned this. After that period of time, they may have used it and dug some coal out of it. But this goes back to the brother of my second great-grandfather, Levi Morgan Hall Sr. They called him Lee Hall. George Thomas was his brother. So that's what this mine looks like. So this is out front of the very first mine that we just looked at. The one that has that odd white object in the center. And if you see up there, that's all that's left of the opening. Very little left. You have to know what these mines look like. You can probably see this U shape in here. And if you search the ground, it's going to be hard to see the contrast here. See if I come over here. We did some metal detecting here yesterday. No real luck. See the bits and pieces of coal. Coal in the waste pile of them digging in that mine here.
So on to number 2. Okay, there's the first one we were in, and we'll call this the upriver one. This is my uncle's farm located on the right fork of the Holly River, just south of Guardian. And there's no water seeping out, even though you saw that was a flooded mine in there. But as we walk up to the next one, you see how wet this is? It's all soft. It's like black water pouring out, basically. Here you can see it. That opening is right underneath the cliff there, probably off to the right. I'll have to go up and look at it before we start filming it. Another U-shaped depression here where they dug in. Look at the amount of dirt that they dug. I don't know if you could see that. That's 20 feet high, 20 feet wide, just to get back to those rocks there to find the coal. So hopefully this opening is still accessible here, and we'll get in this one, see what it continues to look like after a couple years of being here. And I'll put a link in this video description to the 2 videos that we did a couple years ago. I think we had my uncle up here. He didn't even know he owned these 2 mines, and he also owns 5 other mines. Quarter mile, not even quarter mile, 1/8 of a mile from here. Now I'm definitely anticipating water on this side. You see all of its seepage here. This would be close to the floor of the mine. Very soft walking up here. And I'm going to tell you, since a couple years when we were here, see this huge mound of leaves here? That was in the hole, that was the opening to the mine. I mean, it's just leaves, nothing else. So I just shoveled all those leaves out of the way so I could see back in that. So this is the second one. Water's on the floor, but we'll get the device in there. It's going to be close. Oh boy, I'm talking half an inch. Okay, made it in. Nope. It's the ceiling, obviously. Oh. Looks like there's more water than there is. Okay, that's just looking at the left wall there. That's almost straight in there. It does turn a little bit to the left. Again, you can see the post with all the wedges at the top of them. If I come around to the right wall here, you'll see it's kind of collapsed here, and some of that dirt that you see, that's like the backfill from the entrance over the years. And if you look throughout, like the deeper that goes, it looks like more on the right side there. There's a lot of collapse in this mine. And it does look like it goes on around to the left, past where we could see. I'll put that in the center of the screen right there, around that left wall. Now, it may not go much further back. Yeah, look at all the posts way back in that mine. Like in the collapse area that you're looking at past the water. Right there. A lot of posts in there because they really excavated this one as far as making this a very wide room. Because that is the right wall there that we're looking at. You'll see there's collapse on that. Looks like it was a nice seam of coal they found. You can see the water on the floor there. So there is no round shiny object in this mine, so that other one that we were looking at in the first mine, that's that shiny object, round shiny object. It's either fallen down or it's that far underwater. Yeah, I'd like to know how far back around that goes there. If that potentially connects to the other mine, it'd have to go quite a ways. It's more like 50 feet between these two mine openings. But you just look like even right there, that furthest post that's right in the center of the screen right now. Now, I'll be able to enhance this on the computer when I get back, but looking at it looks like I might be looking at the wall right behind that post there. Several posts there. See how many you could count, huh? Starting from the right, I count 1, 2, 3 right up front, then 4, 5, 6. There's 3 kind of jammed up against each other as far as the view that we have right here. Those 3 right there. And then 2 off to the right there. It's a pretty big wedge that they have on that front post. That's all water laying on the floor there, which was anticipated since it's seeping out. Now, why it's not seeping out of the other mine at the front like this one, I don't understand that. So be it. Kind of look at the colors there. There's a spotty red, maybe orangish colors on that left wall. What these old timers went through just to get some coal for heating. Unbelievable.
There you see it.
How about that? Okay, well there it is. I mean, how far back does that go? It doesn't go that
That's
far
hard to
back.
tell. You can only see back to,
There's definitely dirt poured in on the right side.
yeah.
It would be interesting if that, on the left side, behind that column there, actually connected into this other opening over here. And right now, the camera's almost at water level. Let's see if I can create a ripple there with the bottom of it. There you go. So I'm only about 8 feet in at an angle from the mine entrance here. I'm just hitting the front board into the water there. So there you have the second George Thomas Hall mine.